Hi, I'm Grayson. The same bedroom I had since I was 10 now feels both comforting and suffocating at 32. Never thought I'd be back here after the Silicon Valley startup I poured 3 years into collapsed like a house of cards. 6 months of job hunting with nothing to show but rejection emails will humble anyone. Morning sunshine, coffee's ready. My dad Robert slides a mug across the kitchen counter, his silver hair catching the morning light. Any interviews lined up today? Just a video call at 2, some fintech company in Boston. That's my boy, always bouncing back. He squeezes my shoulder the same way he did after every high school football loss. The front door clicks shut upstairs and the temperature in the room drops 10 degrees. My stepmother Diane glides into the kitchen in her designer workout gear, not a hair out of place despite supposedly coming from Pilates. "Oh, you're still here." She doesn't look at me, just opens the fridge and pulls out her green smoothie. "Good morning to you too, Diane." "Robert, honey, didn't you say Grayson had an interview in Chicago this week?" My dad furrows his brow. "Boston. It's remote. Such a shame. Chicago would be a wonderful fresh start. The subtext is crystal clear. The farther away, the better." Later that afternoon, my sister Emma stops by. She lives just 15 minutes away with her husband, but rarely visits when Diane is home. "How's the job search going?" Emma asks, sprawled across my bed like we're teenagers again. Slowly. Dad's patient, but the Ice Queen is getting frostier by the day. I don't trust her, Gray. Never have. Last week at Dad's birthday dinner, I caught her going through his phone while he was grilling. Could have been innocent. Nothing's innocent with her. Have you noticed how many girls' trips she takes? Or how Dad's retirement accounts seem to be funding her closet full of designer bags? I sigh. Mom's only been gone 5 years. Dad was lonely. And vulnerable. Perfect target. Emma sits up suddenly. "Have you ever looked at Mom's will? She left this house to all of us, not just Dad. I was too wrecked after the funeral to care about paperwork. Maybe you should start caring. I don't think the wicked stepmother's planning a long-term family reunion here." That night at dinner, Robert proudly serves his famous lasagna. The three of us sit at the dining table Mom picked out 20 years ago. The empty chair at the end feels like a black hole. "Robert, we need to discuss something." Diane dabs her lips with a napkin. "It's about our future plans." Dad smiles. "The Bahamas trip? I told you, once Grayson gets back on his feet." "No, dear. Our living situation." She turns to me, eyes cold as winter. "Grayson, you're a grown man. I think it's time we set a deadline for your temporary arrangement." "What deadline?" My fork freezes halfway to my mouth. 30 days seems generous. You need motivation, and we need our space back." Dad chokes on his water. "Diane, we never discussed." "I've been patient, Robert. It's been 3 months. He needs to stand on his own 2 feet. The lasagna turns to ash in my mouth as I realize I'm being evicted from my childhood home by a woman who's lived here less time than our mailman. I stared at my dinner plate, appetite gone. Dad's voice broke the silence. "Diane, this is his home too. 30 days is..." "It's fine, Dad." I pushed my chair back. "I'll start looking for apartments tomorrow." Diane smiled, victory written all over her face. "I'm glad you're being mature about this, Grayson." Later that night, my phone buzzed with a text from Emma. "Meet me for coffee tomorrow. Don't take this lying down." The next morning at Brewster's Cafe, Emma was already on her second espresso when I arrived. "You're just giving up? This is bullshit, Gray. What choice do I have? It's their house." "Is it though? Mom wouldn't have left you homeless." "What are you getting at?" "Remember Marcus from high school? He's a private investigator now. I already called him." I nearly spit out my coffee. "You what?" Something about Diane has always felt off. Those business trips she takes, the way she isolates Dad, classic predator behavior. That's a serious accusation. Give Marcus a chance. What have you got to lose? That afternoon, I met Marcus at his downtown office. He hadn't changed much since high school, still had that shrewd look in his eyes. "So your stepmom's giving you the boot." Emma thinks there's more to the story. Emma has a flair for drama. Sometimes drama is just truth wearing makeup. Give me a few days to dig around. I spent the next day half-heartedly apartment hunting while Marcus worked his magic. Wednesday morning, I decided to check the attic for some old furniture I might take to a new place. Dusty boxes of Christmas decorations and photo albums filled the space. In the corner sat Mom's old filing cabinet. Curiosity pulled me toward it. Inside the bottom drawer, behind tax returns and insurance policies, I found a folder labeled Will and Testament Final Version. My hands trembled as I read. The family home at 1423 Oakwood Lane is to be held in trust for my son, Grayson Miller, with lifetime residence rights for my husband, Robert. I called Emma immediately. You were right. According to Mom's will, I own the house. Holy shit, Diane must not know. Or maybe she does and that's why she's pushing me out. Check your phone. Marcus just sent us both an email. Marcus's message contained screenshots of social media posts and news articles. Before Diane became Diane Miller, she was Diane Hawkins, then Diane Ferguson, then Diane Winters. 3 marriages to wealthy older men, all ending mysteriously. Call Mr. Harrison, Emma insisted. He handled Mom's estate. The family lawyer agreed to see me that afternoon. Mr. Harrison's office smelled like leather and old books. He adjusted his glasses as he reviewed Mom's will. Yes, this is the final executed version. Your mother left the house specifically to you, with your father retaining lifetime residence rights. You are the legal owner, Grayson. Does my stepmother have any claim to it? None whatsoever, but there's something else you should know. He pulled out several financial statements. Your father granted Diane access to his accounts. I've noticed concerning withdrawals, large sums being transferred to offshore accounts. She's stealing from him? I can't prove intent, but the pattern is troubling. Almost $240,000 in the past year alone. I felt sick. What do I do? That depends. Do you want her out in 30 days or 24 hours? 24 hours sounds tempting, I told Mr. Harrison, leaning forward in my chair. But I need concrete evidence first. Dad would never believe me otherwise. Proceed carefully, Grayson. People like Diane can be dangerous when cornered. I left his office with a game plan forming. Back home, I acted defeated, shuffling around with apartment listings while Diane watched with barely concealed satisfaction. Found some promising places in the West Side District, I mentioned at dinner, pushing peas around my plate. That's wonderful, dear. Diane patted my hand with fake sympathy. Sometimes we need a little push to spread our wings. Dad looked miserable but said nothing. After dinner, I texted Marcus, need surveillance equipment, ASAP. The next morning, Marcus delivered a package to Emma's house. These are state-of-the-art mini cameras with audio, completely undetectable. You're sure they're legal? I asked, examining the tiny devices. In your own home? Absolutely, just avoid bathrooms or bedrooms. Emma sorted through the equipment. I'll help install them while the witch is at her spa appointment tomorrow. Meanwhile, I'll handle the financial tracking, Marcus added. My buddy at First National can pull transaction records if we show him the power of attorney your dad gave you during your mom's illness. The next day, Emma and I worked quickly, placing cameras in the living room, kitchen, and Diane's home office. By afternoon, everything was set up on my laptop. This feels like a spy movie, Emma whispered as we tested the feeds. Let's hope the villain gets what she deserves in this one. I didn't have to wait long. That evening, with Dad working late, Diane made a phone call in her office. The stepson situation is handled. Yes, 30 days and he's gone. Once he's out, I'll convince Robert to sell. The market's hot. We could clear at least $1.2 million. No, he has no idea about the Cayman account. I recorded everything, blood boiling. The next day brought more damning evidence. Diane accidentally dropped Dad's phone in water, then quickly replaced it with a new one, transferring only select contacts and installing what looked like tracking software. Emma called with more news. Marcus found 6 bank accounts in the Caymans. She's transferred over $400,000 in the last 18 months, not $240,000. I took everything to Mr. Harrison, who reviewed it with a grim expression. This is more than enough for potential criminal charges. But what do you want, Grayson? Revenge or resolution? Both. I want my dad protected and Diane gone. Then we proceed carefully. I'll draft the necessary paperwork. 3 days into our surveillance operation, Diane cornered me in the kitchen, face twisted with impatience. I've been thinking, Grayson, 30 days is too generous. The market's hot right now, and I found a couple interested in viewing the house next week. Excuse me? You're trying to sell our home? Your father and I have discussed downsizing. We don't need this much space with just the 2 of us. And when exactly did Dad agree to this? That's between me and my husband. I need you out by this weekend. I struggled to maintain my composure. That wasn't our agreement. Plans change. Be out by Saturday or I'll have your things moved to the curb. She smiled sweetly. Don't make this difficult, Grayson. You're not a child anymore. Little did she know, her accelerated timeline just played right into my hands. I spent the night calling in reinforcements. By Friday evening, everything was set. I'd asked Dad to be home for a special dinner to discuss my moving plans. Should I dress up for this announcement? Dad asked, looking concerned as he helped me set the table. Nope, just be yourself. Emma and her husband are coming, and I invited Mr. Harrison, too. Our lawyer? What for? Just some paperwork about my new place, don't worry. Dad looked confused, but didn't press further. Diane waltzed in wearing a new dress that probably cost more than my monthly salary at my old job. A dinner party? How lovely. Though I wish you'd told me, I would have ordered catering. This isn't that kind of party, I said, checking my watch. The doorbell rang. Emma arrived with a bottle of wine, followed closely by Mr. Harrison carrying his briefcase. Last came Marcus, whom I'd invited last minute. Who's this? Diane asked, eyeing Marcus suspiciously. An old friend. Shall we eat? Tension hung over the table through the main course. Finally, as dessert was served, I cleared my throat. I wanted everyone here because I have an announcement about my living situation. Diane smiled smugly. Yes, Grayson has found a lovely apartment. Actually, I've decided to stay right here, in my house. The room went silent. Diane's fork clattered against her plate. What nonsense is this? She turned to Dad. Robert, tell him. I nodded to Mr. Harrison, who opened his briefcase and removed several documents. These are copies of Eleanor Miller's final will and testament. The house was left specifically to Grayson, with lifetime residence rights for Robert. Diane has no legal claim whatsoever. Dad's face paled. Is this true? It gets better, I said, opening my laptop. I've been doing some investigating. The screen came to life with footage of Diane on the phone, discussing selling the house, transferring money, and manipulating Dad. This is illegal, Diane shrieked, lunging for the computer. Marcus smoothly intercepted her. Actually, recording conversations in one's own home is perfectly legal in this state. I handed Dad a folder. Bank statements showing Diane has transferred over $400,000 of your money to offshore accounts in the Cayman Islands. Dad's hands shook as he flipped through the pages. Diane, tell me this isn't true. They're trying to turn you against me. These documents are fake. The routing numbers match your handwriting on these withdrawal slips, Emma pointed out. Same as the signature on this rental agreement for a condo in Belize. Diane's face transformed from outrage to calculation. Robert, darling, I can explain. I was investing for our future, for our retirement. In accounts only in your name? I asked. Dad stood up slowly, decades of trust crumbling before our eyes. How could you? Now here's what happens next, I said, standing to face Diane. You have 24 hours to pack your things and leave my house. You can't do this to me. Where am I supposed to go? Should have thought about that before trying to steal our family home. The Cayman accounts should cushion the blow. Robert, please. She reached for Dad's hand. He pulled away. I trusted you, he whispered. Diane turned back to me, tears suddenly streaming down her face. Grayson, I'm sorry, I was wrong. We can work this out. Save it, 24 hours, starting now. 2 weeks later, Dad and I sat on the porch swing watching the sunset. Emma joined us with beers. Mr. Harrison called, she said. The fraud charges against Diane are moving forward. They found 2 other men she'd done this to. How are you holding up, Dad? He sighed, looking older but somehow lighter. One day at a time, the house feels like home again. I clinked my bottle against his. That's because it is. What would you have done in Grayson's position? Was giving Diane just 24 hours to leave justified after she tried to give him 30 days? Or was it too harsh? Should he have shown mercy when she apologized, or did she deserve exactly what she got? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Would you have handled things differently? If you enjoyed this revenge story, hit that like button and subscribe for more stories that show toxic people getting exactly what they deserve. New videos every day.